Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. It's your host, Dr. Morgan. Wow, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. How are you doing? Do you have plans? You got all your food prepared? I hope that no matter how you're spending the holiday, that you're taking time to tune into yourself, what you need, what are the things that are going to help you feel connected to yourself. How can you honor your own needs? Sometimes those get thrown out the windows around the holidays, right? So honor your needs, slow down, set whatever boundaries you need to. Boundaries are hot. See the hat. If you're on YouTube, you can see it. It's this beautiful neutral color. And I love this hat. It's super high quality. You can wear it with anything. Boundaries are hot. Maybe you want to wear this hat to your Thanksgiving meal and just be like, hey, family, boundaries are hot, you know? Um, anyways, honor your needs, take care of yourself, have a wonderful holiday. Just know I am so grateful for you. I am so grateful to this community. I love getting to help you and educate and just help as many people as possible become securely attached. It is such a gift that I get to be connected to my purpose in this way. So thank you for letting me serve you. Today's episode, all right, it's a good one. Have you ever stopped yourself from asking for reassurance, thinking that it might make you look insecure? Or maybe you've been wondering how to navigate a new relationship. You're going, where is this going? I don't know what we're doing, right? All of these questions that come up with reassurance and probably things you may not even realize are connected to reassurance. Today, we're tackling everything. We're going to talk about what is it? Why do you need it? How does it interact with attachment styles? And how can we approach asking and giving reassurance in a healthy way? So, we've got a lot to talk about. I'm excited to dive into this with you. Basically, reassurance is emotional support, validation. It is the confirmation that it is safe to emotionally invest in the relationship. I think about reassurance as the thing that allows you to go, oh, it is good for me to put my time, my energy, my love into this relationship. I feel emotionally safe. I feel as though this is a good investment. When we have when we have a lot of reassurance, we go, "Oh yeah, this relationship has the potential to go the distance," right? We feel like, "Yes, this is a really good use of my time and energy." When we don't have reassurance, we're constantly wondering, is this the right relationship for me? Is there a different relationship I should be in? We're feeling emotionally dysregulated. We're waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the relationship not to work out. So the absence of reassurance can cause a lot of emotional turmoil, and it can really cause us to show up with insecure attachment patterns. If you have an anxious attachment style in particular, and then you're in a relationship with someone who's not able to offer reassurance, that will cause you to show up as your most anxiously attached self, right? There's parts of ourselves and ways that we're going to show up depending on the relationship that we're in. So this is a really important thing to understand. And I hope that you'll leave this episode really knowing what it is, how to ask for it, and you become a reassurance pro. All right. So moving on, let's talk about why we need reassurance. Once again, it helps us feel safe. When things are feeling uncertain, when you don't know where the relationship is going, when you don't have secure attachment, you can often just feel like you're kind of spinning your wheels, you're questioning the relationship, you are second guessing your own worth. You're going, is there something I'm doing wrong? Am I not good enough for some reason? Without that reassurance being given, it can feel really draining to be in relationships. And one thing I want to point out is reassurance is like the water and the soil and the fertilizer so that secure attachment can grow. We need it in order to create secure attachment. And one thing I want you to know is this paradox. The more reassurance you have early on in a relationship and you've got that fertilizer, you're watering the relationship, you're investing, right? You're offering the reassurance when it's needed. The more that you do it, the less that you need it. So once again, it's a paradox. A lot of couples never got reassurance that they needed in the early stages. Maybe they didn't have open, honest, vulnerable conversations. They didn't have the deep conversations to get clear on their alignment in terms of where they're going and what they want. And they're not doing enough in order to create that foundation. So then what happens? You're constantly feeling that insecure attachment coming up throughout the relationship. And you're in this cycle of, feeling good about it, then not feeling good about it, feeling good about it, then not feeling good about it. And it's this exhausting cycle of, am I in? Am I out? Am I in? Am I out? And a lot of times that can be going back to you don't have the foundation of secure attachment, right? So let's see. So reassurance is closely tied to attachment styles. Let's think about this for a second. Those of you who are my attachment style nerds, maybe you've been listening to the show for a while, you're going to put this together, right? Let's talk about it though. Anxious attachment. What's going on? You're craving external validation in order to feel securely attached. And here's one of the issues that I want to point out. With an anxious attachment style, it's really hard for you to internalize reassurance that's given. You may have a partner that's giving it to you. They might even be saying, hey, I love you. I want to be with you. This is the right relationship for me. I'm so happy we're together. But because of your attachment system and being in that anxiously attached place, you can't actually internalize and accept the reassurance. So I think it's really important to realize that it's not always about that you're not getting it. It can also be you're having a hard time receiving it and internalizing it. With anxious attachment, your reassurance bucket has holes in it, right? That's the metaphor I like to use, that no matter how much reassurance you're getting from a partner, you simply can't internalize it. You don't ever feel calm, secure, and emotionally safe to invest in the relationship because you're just always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Okay, let's move on to avoidant attachment style. What's happening there? With avoidant attachment style, it can be really hard to offer reassurance. It can be very challenging to express commitment, to express things like, hey, I really like how this relationship is going. I'm really enjoying getting to know you. Even that can feel really challenging to the avoidantly attached person because their coping skill is hyper independence. They feel that if I express, hey, I'm investing here, hey, I really like where this relationship is going, they might view that as dependency. They might view it as being weak. The idea is that it doesn't feel emotionally safe for me to express the reassurance and to give it to you because I've learned as a coping skill, I've learned that I have to be hyper independent. I have to take care of myself. So for the avoidantly attached person, it's very challenging for them to express reassurance. Okay. So then we have disorganized attachment style. And I know I have a lot of people who listen to the show who have disorganized attachment. And I just want you to know, I see you. I get it. That was me. I know how painful it is. And I just want you to know you're not alone. and you absolutely can heal. And what's going on with disorganized attachment is you're simultaneously experiencing these two things at once. You are craving the reassurance, you're feeling as though you can never get enough of it. And at the same time, you're also probably pendulum swinging into not wanting to give it, not wanting to commit, wanting to pull away from the relationship, maybe even devaluing your partner at times, thinking, wow, I could do so much better. This person's not meeting my needs for XYZ reason, finding yourself pulling away, right? You're doing both at the same time. And if that sounds exhausting, it's because it is. It's very exhausting. And then what happens when we have the anxious attached person with the avoidantly attached person? The beliefs, and they're attracted to each other because they're like magnets, right? When you have those two attachment styles, they are just like, boom, moth to a flame, because they meet each other's ideas and beliefs. They match up with the model that they each have about love, right? With anxious attachment, I'm going, I never get enough reassurance. It's not available to me. I can't feel safe in the relationship. With avoidant attachment, I'm going, wow, people expect too much of me. People want more than I can give. I can't invest, right? I can't emotionally invest. So they really match up nicely. And what happens is when the avoidantly attached person does actually give some reassurance, this feels like the best feeling ever to the anxiously attached person. They're like, yes, finally. It's like a drug. It is a drug. Do you know what it is? Because you're getting a big hit of dopamine and you are experiencing something called intermittent reinforcement. It's unpredictable. You don't know when it's coming. The avoidantly attached person can't give it to you in a consistent way. So when they do give it to you, like I said, it's like a drug. So of course, it can get really challenging to leave that relationship because intermittent reinforcement is the most addictive kind of reinforcement. It's the same learning schedule that happens with gambling addiction, right? So the anxiously attached person can get really pulled into that relationship and they're constantly they're increasing behavior, right? They're trying to do whatever they can to then get that reassurance again. And the avoidantly attached person, once again, is having their beliefs met of, wow, I'm not a good partner. That's the person with avoidant attachment style is really believing at their core that they're just not a good partner, right? So the anxiously attached person keeps asking for more. The avoidantly attached person believes they're not a good partner. Round and round we go until one person has had enough and ends the relationship. And I wonder if any of you listening are feeling personally called out, that you relate to that cycle, because I know the past version of me certainly did relate to that. And obviously, I think it's really important to remind us all, you can work on becoming securely attached. You don't have to stay here. But if you're relating to this, I have so much compassion for you. So what happens with secure attachment and reassurance? Let's dive into that. Where we want to be. It's important to talk about that. So with secure attachment, there's this beautiful balance. You've heard me talk about this in many different ways, but you're able to ask for reassurance from your partner. You're confident. You're not second guessing that you need to ask for it. You're going, well, duh, I have needs. They deserve to be met. I need reassurance. I'm going to ask for it. So the anxiously attached person, they're trying not to, and then the need gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, little side note, with secure attachment, we're not second guessing ourselves. We trust ourselves. We're asking for the reassurance we need. And then we're also balancing it with the ability to self-soothe, the ability to give ourselves reassurance, to look at the relationship and go, look at all of these positive data points. Look at all these ways this person is showing up for me. Look at how they were thoughtful here. They showed up here, right? So then we're able to balance it with also being able to self-soothe. This is a really key distinction. And I want to clarify this. Just as I was saying with secure attachment, we know this, that reassurance does not mean that you're needy. It means that you care about the connection. And the key is, how do we approach it in a healthy way? And I think a little bit of this understanding that we just talked about and making sure you have a ton of self-compassion about the need is going to go a long way. So let's move on, right? We talked about what it is. We talked about how it intersects with attachment styles. Now I want to talk to you about, how do you ask for reassurance without guilt, and to do it in a loving way where your partner can really hear you. That's important, because sometimes we're asking for things, but we are not asking in a way that our partner can hear us. It's like, I always think about the communication sandwich. You have to learn, how do I communicate in a way where my partner can actually take it in, right? If I'm making a bologna sandwich, but my partner is a roast beef person, it's not going to happen, right? I have to know, how do I communicate in a way that my partner can actually hear me? Very important. So I want to talk about ways that we can ask for reassurance. One thing that's helpful is, first off, slowing down. So let's say you're noticing you're feeling a bit insecure in the connection. You're going, I don't know where we're going, what's going on. I want you to slow down, and I want you to ask yourself for reassurance first. So remember, I said with secure attachment, we balance asking our partners with also asking ourselves. So slow down, ask yourself first. So I want you to say, wow, what are you feeling right now? What's the emotion? And then I want you showing up, speaking to yourself as your most kind, loving, emotionally available parent, and really just seeing yourself and seeing that, probably that little inner child version of you. Maybe it was the version of you that was abandoned or that was chronically emotionally invalidated. Maybe it's the version of you that had a lot of needs, and those needs got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they were never met, right? In past relationships, and you were told that you were too much. Maybe that's the version of you that's coming up. But I want you to just see that version and really validate and calm and offer that version of you so much love and support. Imagine your most loving, kind, emotionally available, ideal parent. How are they responding to you as you're having these emotions, right? That's what I want you to really work on. And then after you do that, it's about, okay, if I'm looking at the relationship, I want to go into, what is the reality? What's the reality of what's happened in the relationship? Maybe it's that, well, hey, we've only been on 3 dates and I don't know very much about this person. Or maybe it's that, wow, I'm not getting my needs met, but if I'm really honest with myself, I haven't asked to get my needs met. I haven't expressed what my needs are. Sometimes that's what happens when we do the reality check-in, right? So you're first off, you're self-soothing, you're showing up as your ideal parent. Then you're asking yourself, what is the reality? What has gone on in this relationship so far? What do I actually know about this connection? So we're tuning into the reality, right? And then after that, after you've slowed down, you've done those 2 things, you want to ask yourself, how do I align with my securely attached self? And then you would go to your partner and you would say, if there's something that you couldn't meet for yourself after going through that process, then you would go to them and you would ask for whatever reassurance you still need. So, and then here's a question that came from the audience. This goes along with what we're talking about. Is asking for reassurance enabling our insecurities? So here's the thing. It does depend on the frequency And it depends on, are you also able to give it to yourself? If I am 100% counting on my partner and I've completely outsourced my ability to feel secure in the relationship, that relies completely on my partner, that's not a healthy state to be in, right? I need to be able to say, I can help myself feel secure and my partner can help me feel secure. There's going to be so many of you listening to this where you're going, oh my gosh, light bulbs, right? This is major. I think so many people don't realize this. But if you are outsourcing this completely to your partner, they're going to be worn out. It's going to be too much work, right? And they're going to eventually pull away. Even the most securely attached people, it will be very challenging because they will feel that no matter what they're doing, they can't give you what you need, which is true because there is reassurance that only you can give yourself. Okay. So healthy reassurance is, of course, we're asking for it. And like I said, beginning stages of a relationship, you're going to need to ask for it more. But as you get further along in the relationship, you'll ask for it less and less. When it's unhealthy, so how would it be enabling insecurity? It's enabling insecurity when, once again, we've completely outsourced it. So it's 100% on our partner. And when it's frequent and when it's driven by fear or overthinking. When it's driven by fear or overthinking, then it can be enabling our insecurities, right? I have so much more I could say about this, but I don't have time to go into all of it. I will say this, if you like this episode and you're going, oh my gosh, I need to do this work, I need to become securely attached, I've got you covered. This is the best offer that we've had on the program all year. It's our Black Friday offer. Not only are you getting $1,000 off the Empowered.Secure.Loved relationship program, you're also getting over $2,000 worth of bonus content. So we have the Become a Boundaries Queen audio course. Our clients love that. It is an audio course dedicated to helping you master the inner work of boundaries. So how to set them and maintain them, and how to do that deep inner work that allows boundaries to become easy. So you get that. You're also going to get the Stop the Spiral guided meditations for secure attachment. So everything we're talking about today of like, if you're in an insecure spiral, if you're having your thoughts going to worst case scenarios and you're emotionally dysregulated, this meditation set is going to help you stop and do a pattern interrupt and then realign with your securely attached self. So this means less time feeling anxious, less time having this emotionally dysregulated, chaotic state. And you're just going to be rewiring your brain so you can easily step into your securely attached place. Okay. So that one is so valuable. You're also going to get a guided journal. I'm so excited about this. I've been working very hard on it. And this is the Attract the One guided journal. And this hasn't been released anywhere else. The meditations in the journal, they haven't been released. So these are super, super valuable. You're going to want them. But in the journal, I'm going to help you do everything you need to do to prepare for calling in the one, right? Attracting the partner that you really want, that emotionally available, loving partner. I'm going to help you do that and get crystal clear so that you can easily attract that partner. And this is the perfect time to do this before the new year so you can get really, really clear on what do you need to do to bring in that partnership, and who is the person that you're calling in? What are your non-negotiables, right? How do you feel when you're in the relationship? I'm telling you, clarity is a superpower. When you get crystal clear, things just start coming. I have so many examples of this in my life, but that's what this guided journal is designed to help you do. And also, we only have like 2 of these left, but the first 10 people who join with this offer, you also get a free Boundaries Are Hot hat mailed to you. That's my gift to you. So I think we literally have like 2 of those left. But this is a ridiculously good offer. If you have been listening and you've been going, I know, Dr. Morgan, I need to do the work on myself. I'm just telling you, like, don't wait. Like, this is the time. Take advantage. Go to the show notes. Use the link there to apply to the program. You are going to love doing this work. And I think you're also going to feel so good knowing that you're putting yourself first. You're not waiting until 2025. You're doing this now. Through the holidays, you're going to be working on rewiring your brain so you can be feeling at peace, feeling light, feeling happy, feeling so much hope, right? Instead of, oh, I feel so alone or I feel down during the holidays. You're going to be in this positive, uplifted state. So this really is the time. Go use the link in the show notes to apply. Okay, back to what I was saying. We need to be able to be confident and be direct when asking for reassurance. So I'm talking to you about how do we ask for it? We would, in order to have these conversations, number one, it's not even as important the script, because I can tell you a script. A script is easy. I'll walk you through, exactly what you should say, blah, blah, blah. The thing that matters, and really hear me, okay? The thing that matters is that deep in your bones, you are worthy. Up in this securely attached place, asking for reassurance is really easy. But I'll walk you through some examples. So let's say you're early on in dating, you're not sure where it's going, you're noticing maybe you are having some anxious attachment spirals come up, and you were so much more emotionally regulated when you were single and you were just hanging out with your girlfriends, and you're like, should I just go back to being single because this being in a relationship thing is causing my nervous system to go crazy, right? Maybe that's where you are. And you're in this relationship, you'd really like it to work because you really would like a relationship, right? What do you need to do? The time we spend together, I love when we go hiking together, or I enjoyed our date at the roller rink. I don't know. Do people go to roller rinks anymore? Is that like a thing? I mean, I used to go. I went to roller rinks. I think I even went when I was in college. I don't know. I don't know if people do that. I was a roller skater, which is odd, I know, but for whatever reason, I liked the skating, not the roller blading. I can't tell you why. It was more what I was into. Anyways, that's a random tangent. Anyways, you're saying you enjoy getting to know them. You're listing the things you've done together. And then you're saying, I would love to know how you're feeling about us. How are you feeling about our connection? How do you think it's going? So we've talked so much about this. I feel like you should be getting a better grasp of understanding it and why it's so important. One thing I want to point out is that, once again, it's a building block of secure attachment. It's so needed. And we want to think about that. Of course, we're going to be offering reassurance. And we want to realize that it's not going to be a constant fix for insecurities, but rather we're using it to strengthen a bond, right? When we have that healthy foundation, when we're able to co-create secure attachment, reassurance is coming in as something that's just going to strengthen us and make us stronger. And one thing I like to think about is a really fun way to offer it is to point out the strengths in the relationship. So you can say things like, wow, I really love how we handled that situation. My partner and I do this all the time. We'll be like, wow, that was a lot last week. And look at how we navigated this. And you supported me here. And then I was able to support you here. We are edifying and strengthening our relationship by the way that we communicate. We're making sure that each of us feel seen for the efforts that we're putting into the relationship, right? So there's so many ways to use reassurance, but if it's this kind of thing where you're going, oh my gosh, we're constantly having these conversations. We're going, where are we going? What are we doing? Is this the right relationship? If you're feeling those constant needs, what that tells me is that the foundation needs work. Is that okay? There wasn't enough reassurance in the beginning. There wasn't secure attachment that was created in the beginning to support this healthy long-term connection that feels emotionally safe. So I think once again, I can't stress enough how important the early stages of building the relationship are. You've heard me say this in other episodes, but you're basically building the relationship culture. You're creating the norms, the standards, the ways of being in the relationship. And you want it to be a norm that if one person is needing reassurance, that they can ask and it can be given, right? You want to create the norm that both of you are giving it as needed so that you don't have to ask for it as much. Once again, the paradox, the more you give it, the less you'll need it. I want to move on just because I think there's a couple other questions that I wanted to get to that were asked. So let me just pull this up really, really quick. Oh yeah, this is the one I wanted to answer. So Susie says, how do you ask for reassurance from an avoidantly attached person? This is good. I want you to know this. Your needs are your needs. Just because I know my partner's attachment style doesn't mean that I should change how I'm showing up. The goal is to show up securely attached. And the securely attached version of you, when she knows what her needs are, she's going to communicate them in an open, honest, direct, loving way. So, as much as you can, you're not going to let knowing someone's attachment style change how you ask. Now, that being said, I do think you should listen to the last episode I did because there's some really helpful things there about, okay, when I have a partner who has avoidant attachment style, these are some of the things I should consider. So I would recommend listening to that last episode. But once again, we're not needing to change who we are, filter, show up differently. You want to show up authentically and as your securely attached self. Yes. All right. Let's do a recap. There was so much that we covered in this episode, so let's go over it. So, number one key takeaway here, reassurance is natural and healthy. You're going to ask for it, you're going to give it. When you give it early on, you're creating that healthy, securely attached foundation so that the relationship can grow over time. Number two, your attachment style is going to majorly influence how you give and receive reassurance. And by understanding your attachment style dynamic, it's going to just bring a lot of clarity to you as to why you're doing what you're doing and why the relationship feels the way that it does. All right. Also, communication, empathy, self-trust. We need to have that self-trust, that ability to self-soothe, to give ourselves reassurance, to connect to the reality of the relationship, right? We need to have all of that so that reassurance can easily be given and received. So I hope this episode brought up a lot for you in terms of looking at the way that you're building relationships and the way that you're showing up. I would love for you to just think further on this and think about, okay, am I able to give reassurance? Am I able to receive it? Am I creating securely attached foundations in my relationships? And spoiler alert, it's not just your romantic relationships. It's your relationship to your friends, to your family, to your career, to your bank account, to all the things in your life. We get to say, am I showing up securely attached? Right? And once again, if you need help with that, I would love to help you. It's what I do, it's what I'm passionate about. I love helping people become securely attached because of how much it will dramatically change your life. So if you're ready for that, go use the link in the show notes. This is a great time to join us inside of the Empowered.Secure.Loved program. All right, y'all. Once again, if you haven't gotten your Boundaries Are Hot hats, go grab them. These are limited time. These are going away, but I am obsessed with this colorway. I'm into all neutrals and nudes. My whole wardrobe is just like basically shades of beige and khaki and brown and white and black now. This is just, it's just how it is. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but I look at some of my older clothes I had and I'm like, how did I ever wear like this crazy floral print? I don't know if this is a millennial thing. Is this a being 35 thing? But I am so into the neutrals. And, when I was designing this hat, I was like, yeah, it's going to go. It's going to go with everything. We love it. So if you don't have yours, go grab it. It's a wonderful conversation starter. I can't tell you how many people stop me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, where can I get your hat? I want your hat." Or "That is such a great hat. I need it." So it's a wonderful way to just start some conversations with people. And like I said earlier, kind of fun to wear around your family as well and just see what they say. Just let them know that you're healing and things might be changing. So wear it around your family. I'm sending you so much love. I love this community. It is such an honor to serve you. I wish I could just be in a room with all of you at the same time while we were doing this episode. Maybe we will do that someday. We'll do a live podcast. Would that be fun? Would you guys come to a live podcast? Send me a DM on Instagram at Dr. Morgan Coaching. Let me know. Would you come? That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, I love you. I'm grateful for you. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. And of course, I'm wishing you high self-worth and great relationships. I'll talk to you soon.